at this event. I go in and I was there for 3 hours and I walked out at the end and I had made $1,275. So
Wow. So I have such a cool story to share with you guys today, or actually, you're going to share it with the audience. But, we were just talking about off camera. I saw your Facebook post last week and I was like, wow, I've got to get you on the podcast. And so, without further ado, can you just, introduce yourself and kind of tell a little bit about how you got started in permanent jewelry?
yeah, my name's Ellie and I have been in the beauty industry for going on 12 years now. So I had my own business doing hair and makeup for weddings. And then over the last year, I had started weaning off of those to focus on being a stay-at-home mom. And then in the past year, I also, unfortunately, am going through a divorce. So with that being said, my hair and makeup business, I didn't put as much time into marketing it like I had in the past. So I knew I needed another stream of income to kind of help supplement that income that I wasn't going to be bringing in from booking as many weddings. And basically, I had gotten my first jewelry done in November of this year, and I was just picking the girl's brain who was doing it, and she was telling me how she had just quit her corporate job and was making more money doing these pop-up events in permanent jewelry. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. And actually, I was remembering I had a couple friends who had also got it done by another company, and they were like, Ellie, like, you need to do this. This would be perfect for bridal parties. So that was kind of my first thing, was like, oh, I'm doing hair and makeup at weddings. You could just go ahead and add this in and do it on the same day for like bridesmaids to wear down there. They always do the gifts and stuff. So it'd be something unique. So that was kind of where my first thought went.
Yeah.
So I went home that day and I literally started researching, and then I signed up and got my kit and started from there.
What made you choose linked?
Well, to be honest, I actually had looked into the company of the girl that got it done by originally, and they only put a certain amount of people in each city. And so I was like, well, that's not going to work, because she was already basically saturated a little bit more south of where I am. And so I was like, you know what, I need to just do this on my own. And so I had started following people on Instagram and like looking at hashtags and stuff. And I think I had seen, she had commented on somebody on one of the posts, and I was like, okay, she's killing this already. And I think I just started messaging her, and she had so many good things to say. And then basically I was just reading people's comments and who had used linked prior. And I was like, this is definitely what I need to do. People were like, oh, you can YouTube it and stuff. And I'm like, the way I learn, like, I cannot just go, and the information that you guys provide was so helpful, like, because I did try and see if I could do it on my own. And like, I would not recommend that.
Right. Let's go back to, the Facebook post, and, can you kind of tell, your story, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I think it's such a touching story, and it's pretty awesome about how, like, you were headed to a permanent jewelry event and then your car broke down. And so talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, during this whole divorce, my husband, he's not really helping me at all financially. So I'm due in 2 weeks with my third baby. I've not been working. Obviously, if I did have weddings, this is the slowest month for weddings anyway. So this is always like a tough time of the year. And so it was about 2 weeks ago in February, I was like, I need to just get this going, because I had put it on the back burner just with everything going on. So I just ordered a bunch of inventory, and I had booked this event with a nail salon, and that was going to be my first like public event with people that I didn't know. And so I was really nervous. And so that was on Friday. And then earlier the day of this event, I was driving, and there was torrential downpour on the highway, and all of a sudden all these things come up on my car. And long story short, my car broke down on the highway, and I ended up needing a new alternator, battery, and some sort of belt. And so I took that in, and it ended up costing me $1,250, which was not something that I had just laying around. So my mom ended up having to actually carpool me or drop me off at this event. I go in, and I was there for 3 hours, and I walked out at the end, and I had made $1,275. So I made exactly what I needed for my car with a little $25 left over. And it was just awesome.
So, your car breaks down, $1,250 to fix it, and the same day you make $1,275. I mean, whether you believe in God or the universe or what, like I feel like it just happens in mysterious ways like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Alrighty, so you went to this event. What type of event was it?
So it was at a nail salon. So she had actually marketed it to her current customers. It was just girls' night. They had just hanging out.
Awesome. And is that the only event you've done so far?
No, so since then I've done not like actually events. I've mostly just done like private parties essentially. So I've actually had people come to my apartment and I've just set up a table in here. And then just going to houses for like I did one what was it, 2 nights ago at my sister actually hosted one for her neighborhood. She just had a bunch of like hors d'oeuvres and stuff, and they all just came and hang out, and I gave everybody bracelets and anklets. So mostly I've just done like private things like that, just with groups of friends.
Okay. Yeah, I know yesterday was like National Women's Day and stuff, and I made
Yeah.
a post about it. But like, I love being able, especially with this company, being able to help people and women, make lots of money and be successful. And so, you mentioned your husband or ex-husband was like, "Oh, you got to sell your machine. You're not doing good with this." Like, so
Hmm.
what does it feel like now to be able to like make $1,700 or $1,200 in an event?
Actually makes me cry because it's just
Uh-huh.
like um that was the finances is something he held above my head for so many years, and it's like just like that was kind of what he did. It's like I provide, and that was basically all he did for the
Hmm.
7 years we were married is provide financially.
Hmm.
And even though I had my own business and I made great money doing the hair and makeup, but that was all kind of that was our fun money essentially.
Yeah.
And so when he sent me that message a couple month or so ago and was like, you need to sell all this, you're not going to do anything with it, he basically was like, it's just a waste of money sitting there. And that just really lit a fire under my butt
Yeah.
because he's not not been nice to me at all, and I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And so it's really empowering to be able to go out here and be making this type of money, and in it's great money in such short amounts of times too, and just the freedom of being able to do it whenever I want and however long I want. And it's just kind of up to whatever you want to put into it, you're going to get out of it, which I think is awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. Like, I wish I could give you like a virtual hug right now. Yeah, I mean, like, and it sucks because a lot of times, like in a relationship like that, like, you know, whoever the man or woman, like, if they feel that pressure to like, oh, like sell something or like you're not like, get rid of everything and like not, really follow their dreams, then it can be, tough. And so the fact that you push through that and you're like, no, I'm gonna
Hmm.
prove you wrong and I'm gonna, go be successful, even though you're saying that I can't. That's a pretty powerful moment, I think. So moving forward, do you have other events that you already have scheduled?
Yeah. So right now I am going to give birth in probably 2.5 weeks. So I have basically events leading up all towards then. I have like two this weekend and then two next weekend. And then I'll start back up probably at the end of April. And I have already a few for April and May scheduled.
Awesome. So are you kind of like with your business model, are you mainly sticking to events or do you also like try to take clients like in your beauty business?
So I haven't really. I've tried to like cross market with the the weddings and stuff. I don't have any booked for my personal weddings, but I do have a bridal party booked in April. Actually, is one of the ones I'm doing. So they're going to have another company do hair and makeup, and then I'm going to come do all their bracelets. So they'll have matching bracelets for that day.
Nice. And what were like the ways you found these events? Was it just through like networking or people you already knew?
Honestly, I just started posting on, so I made a separate Instagram for my jewelry business. And I started sharing on there. And then I also have a personal Instagram as well. So I shared on that and then basically on Facebook, and people just shared it. And I mean, it's such a growing trend right now. People are looking for this. And so like, I'll get random, like I got a message from the general manager at Fabletics from all around here. And she's like, oh, this girl that I know, she's my friend. She knew you and she told me about this. So it's all like this person knew this person and sent me to you. So it's just, I mean, I really haven't done any paid marketing or anything, just kind of posting my own pictures of what I've done. And people are just sharing it. I think it's awesome.
Nice. That's awesome. So as far as like, welding, like, did you have welding experience before this?
Heck no. When I first got this bracelet done and I went in and I had been wanting to get it done because I had heard of it, but there wasn't many people doing it. And I sat down and I'm thinking she's gonna be like I pictured her with like the full mask and like flames. And so when she did it and it was like, the spark, I was like, oh, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
so I had no idea I had no idea.
Now, did you go with a deluxe machine or the Orion?
I did the deluxe.
Okay. And how's that treating you?
I mean, I've had zero issues with it. The only issues I've had was my own shaky hands at first, but we got that figured out.
Now, did you have to like if you had shaky hands, did you like change up your technique or something?
So I started using
Oh
the
yeah,
holder,
yeah,
and that literally is a game changer for me. That because I didn't even put it together, and I was like, why am I not using that? And that has completely changed everything for me. Like I can't do it without that. And I'm just generally shaky anyway, so and I was actually really discouraged because I was thinking I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this because my hands are just so shaky. And once I've kind of got that down, it's been smooth sailing.
awesome. I see we have a little visitor in the back.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Winky.
So, what's your most popular, type of jewelry that you've been doing? Is it bracelets or necklaces?
Honestly, I feel like I've been doing a ton of anklets. Like
Okay.
everybody around here is wanting anklets. My event next weekend, I think I've just had like 4 people saying they want anklets. So I think because the weather's getting warmer and stuff, like people are really excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know here in Alaska, we still have like our snow boots on, so there's no
Oh,
anklets here, but
yeah.
I'm ready for it to warm up.
Yeah. Well, it's hit or miss here. It's either freezing cold one day and then 70 the next.
Yep, for sure. So, if someone's on the fence about like training with linked or trying to teach themselves, or like oh, I can't make that investment, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would say 100% go for it. And just, I mean, if you're willing to learn and like put in the work, then I think it's 100% worth it. You'll make your money back. I didn't think I would. And I mean, I definitely have, and I know I will just based on just the attention that it's getting and stuff. So,
Yeah, because I know one big question I get sometimes is like, oh, I have multiple kids and I don't know if I can, do this full time. Like, but you're kind of doing it like event based part time, right?
oh, yeah. I mean, I am very open with people. So like I'll bring I'm just straight up. I know people want this, so I know they're flexible. So like the event that I'm doing on Saturday, I asked her, I was like, look, I'm going through some things and I have my kids. Do you mind if I bring them? And she was like, absolutely not. My kids are going to be here. So bring them along. And then the ones that I do at my house. So if there's not that many people, so I usually am only traveling to somebody if there's 4 or 5 pieces that I know I'll sell. If it's less than that, then I just ask them to come here and my kids will just go off and play. So it's definitely doable with kids. I mean, I feel like I'm a walking testimony of that.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, like I said, such an inspirational story. I'm glad you're able to, overcome that and start a profitable business, even though you're going through trials and tribulations. So, thank you for coming on here and, sharing that story, because I'm sure there's somebody that might be in your very similar situation,
Hmm.
or going through something themselves. And so seeing you persevere, I think will give them that, beacon of light. So thank you so much for coming on here and being vulnerable and, sharing your truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And, if they want to go check out your work, what is your Instagram?
So mine is always on permanent jewelry.
Always on permanent jewelry. Sweet.
Hmm.
So if you're watching or listening, go to, leave her a comment, send her a message, and just say, hey, thanks for sharing this.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.